Hello friends, Rodge here, aka the Wisco Horn Dog. It is Saga Thursday once again, your regular source for Saga, the miniatures game goodness. And this week we are back on the battle board train once again, filling out those Dark Age factions. We're going to get through all of them, I swear. We're going to talk about the Irish this week with my good buddy John the Silver Fox himself. He's a cagey fella and he knows all about these Irish folks, and it was a blast going through this board with him. And this is going to be part one of a two-parter once again, as we talk at great length about those dastardly Irish and their various shenanigans. So without further ado, let's kick this off. All right, I am here with the Silver Fox, Mr. John Stentz. How's it going, dude?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. I am good.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
Ready to talk some Saga.
Excellent. I am glad that's the case. Otherwise, this would be an awkward Skype conversation.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to chat some Irish here. And these guys are pretty cool. You've got some experience with these bastards.
I have played these bastards, these dirty, unshaven, no-shoe-wearing bastards.
There's a couple different kinds of no-shoe-wearing bastards out there, but these are a particular strain. That,
I'm just saying, all you Irish players out there, if your models have shoes on them, you're doing it wrong.
You're not those Richie Riches.
That's right.
Okay, cool. These Irish bastards, they're using the same dice as the Scots there.
Yep.
Not a good sign. I don't like that set of dice. It's too good, too powerful.
Yeah, you just those darn quail.
Okay. So the Irish themselves, looks like some guys can be mounted. I'm seeing that good old mounted section.
Yeah.
You can get some Dane axes in there. I'm liking that so far. Irish warlords can be mounted. If fighting on foot, they are equipped with javelins or with Dane axes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Got some options there. You don't see that too much. Actual equipment options.
Yeah, for warlords, right.
Okay. The Hearthguards can be mounted as well, and they can also be equipped with javelins or Dane axes. Now, the catch is chainmail being very rare in Ireland. The Irish, just go for the feet. They've got the full kit up top, but down low, just they can stab that pinky toe. The Hearthguards, whether they're mounted or on foot, have an armor of 4 against ranged attacks.
Yes.
So a little weaker, but that's cool that they're kind of like, the mounted ones aren't like double pinged for it.
Right.
So that's cool. And then up to 2 Hearthguard models may be upgraded to Curade. Is that it? Singular Curad. Right. I never thought of the plural. Yes. I would say Curad. So Curad.
I hope that's right.
Champions of their warlord. Hopefully it is right. I mean, you were talking up your pronunciation skills before we recorded here, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did a little research, right? I watched Inglourious Bastards, and I'm just going to Brad Pitt this sucker, so, Crats.
Okay, I smell what you're cooking. Okay, I'm going to let you describe the Curade rules. Because it goes on at length here, but I have a feeling you'll be able to summarize it for us.
Yeah, so the thing of this guy is your mini warlord. He's got a lot of his abilities are warlord type abilities. So generates 3 attack dice in melee, 2 attack dice when he's shooting, armor 5 in melee, armor 6 against shooting. So even though he's Hearthguard, where he comes from Hearthguard, he gets the armor boost like the warlord. The Crod have javelins, so even if you are using your Hearthguard and you're giving him Dane axes, loses the Dane axe, has a javelin, can be mounted on a horse, but only if your warlord is mounted on a horse also. And so he is considered Hearthguard, activated like Hearthguard, and they're worth 2 victory points if they're killed. So he's got determination. So there's your
that's your
free
activation.
Your free activation. So he's got that. So previous to the FAQ, the feeling out there was that, he's Hearthguard, he generates dice. Now, specifically, they said no, he doesn't generate additional dice, because it used to be a thing. The Irish used to never, they always had a ton of dice.
Yes. That is something that you need to know. That's cool. So the actual...
He has resilience, too, just like the Warlord. Cancels the first hit.
That is pretty decent as well. So it didn't actually say that he generated a Saga dice here, but you would just naturally assume.
Yeah, because it was counts as a Hearthguard unit, so when you count your units, that's how we came to it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not going to blame anybody for coming to that conclusion. So yeah, it has been clarified that they do not generate a Saga dice in the latest and greatest FAQ. And okay, so I'm liking that. We have Irish warriors going down the list. They have the light armor as well, so they have a armor of 3 against shooting. And then we're mixing up the actual unit descriptions here. So a single unit of warriors may be designated as Irish wolfhounds.
Yeah.
Usually depicted as a packmaster and his hounds. Irish wolfhounds have armor of 3 all the time and have a movement of L in the open and in uneven ground, so they're not slowed down. And they are not considered mounted models for Saga abilities and everything else that goes along with that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've really seen on just looking at warbands and stuff, at Adepticon and stuff. Maybe there was some wolfhounds in that best painted warband, just a few, but
maybe. Oh yeah, I don't know about Sean Mooney's Quixotes. I'm not sure. I'm not positive if he had them. I don't recollect them. I was gonna comment and say that the typical optimized tournament Irish list does not have warhounds in it, but I like warhounds. When we did our Saga event at Wapaka, I tweeted out a montage of pictures of what my warhounds were doing each game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I brought them. They're fun.
Yeah, they look pretty fine. Moving an owl's pretty sweet.
Yeah, they catch you out. They can fly across terrain, and people forget that, and then they zoom out through, and there they are.
Got the hounds on you, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. So finally, we've got the levies, and we're looking at slings or javelins. So at least they're packing the slings.
Yeah.
Not like those stupid Breton levies, just with javelins we looked at last time.
Right.
So, okay. Yeah, some really cool options here. So these Q-Rod seem really awesome, so there's no reason you wouldn't upgrade 2 of them. And I have played against these guys, and the board abilities seem to revolve around those fellows. So you'd probably be hampering yourself if you didn't take those dudes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got a couple of them that are affecting the Warlord or the Curad, so why not have them?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's take a look at that battle board. The left-hand side, looking pretty juicy, pretty much standard. The combat pool is pretty flexible here. We're looking at a melee, shooting, or shooting reaction as the different options there. So that's pretty handy. I'm liking that.
Yeah, attack or defense dice for those options.
So we can go anyway with these Irish cats. But, okay, why don't we kick off the abilities? So do you want to go after the Sons of Dana there, John?
Sure. The Sons of Dana, a.k.a. Irish children in the woods throwing flaming pine cones at you. So here we go. This is an activation. It requires a uncommon or a rare. So you designate an enemy unit within S of a non-building uneven ground. Immediately resolve a shooting against this unit by generating a number of attack dice equal to half the models in the target unit. And if you use a rare, you get a +1 bonus to those attack dice.
So like 5 instead of 4, or when you roll the dice, you get. Okay.
Yeah, if you're shooting at warriors, instead of 4s, you need 3s, and
it's +1 to the dice roll.
+1 to the dice roll.
Ooh,
exactly.
Wow, that is juicy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one is, this is a classic. This is obviously this is most effective against big units because the amount of hits or attacks you're going to get is dependent on the size of the unit. It's a great way for the Irish player to use terrain as a deterrent on, if you're playing against Irish, like when I play against Irish, I just put my short marker out there for the terrain. Sometimes you don't care. Small units, like, shoot my 5-pack, whatever. But a big pack, you sure don't want by there because that's going to be really efficient for that die to generate a bunch of attacks on you. And as we're going to see as we go down this board, other abilities can be used on this shooting attack to make it even meaner.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, well, I'm a fan of any board ability that counts as a shooting attack, so I'm liking this one overall. I like how it interacts with the terrain. A lot of times
and it's just get you.
Sitting
anywhere on the board.
So it would really, a lot of the abilities we looked at, you actually have to get into the terrain before it does anything. So a lot of the times it doesn't, there's no reason to really go into that terrain. So this, even small, it's 4 inches. So even like a 6-inch wood, that's like a 14-inch kind of, death bubble around that thing.
Yeah.
So to speak. And, some of the pieces of terrain get pretty big. So potentially they might not be able to avoid that. And then depending if it's a sacred ground or something like that, you're like, well, I guess we just gotta take our licks here. So, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Do you often go for the rare on this one? Seems pretty good. I guess I'm not sure what other competition you have for that.
There's some competition for the rare. It's situational. If you can get a lucky strike, so a typical thing to do is if you can get during your deployment terrain setup, if you can get that big woods and then put it in your opponent's deployment zone to really stick it right in the middle, for instance, and create that giant bubble of deploy here if you want. And if you can, if they oblige you because they don't see this coming, and then that's for the time that first turn you get that elk and you throw that on there, because there's another ability, as we'll see here, that also makes the shooting +1. But if you can spend 1 die versus using 2 separate dice to make it go off, that's pretty good.
You're getting some bang for your buck. That's a really good point about deployment strategies. You have another little card in your back pocket here for really messing with them. Just putting it right in the middle. And you're going to load up one side completely, or are you going to split your forces and potentially get them isolated just to avoid the potential of these hits? That's kind of a tough call to make. You don't want to make a mistake so early, because it can be tough getting those foot sloggers back to help out their buddies if they need it. So,
right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they need it. So,
right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, looking like a nice ability here. Now we have the Heirs of Mil. This is a orders reaction ability. Uses 2 snakes there, 2 commons. Designate one of your units until the start of your next turn. No enemy unit may shoot at or engage this unit unless it has at least 1 model within short of your unit at the start of the shooting sequence or at the start of the engagement movement. Okay, so I'm just trying to puzzle this one out here. So basically, they need to get really close before they can go after you. So if they're, I'm thinking against crossbows or bows or slings, or going up against cavalry, this will be more useful. Where against javelins, composite bows, just foot sluggers, the difference between medium and short isn't as much, but it could be the difference between a double activation versus single here.
Exactly.
I don't know, just reading it, I don't see this being that handy. Is that correct?
I don't find it to be real handy. You can sometimes use it as like a little bit of a bait maneuver if you throw a unit out, especially, if you're against cavalry. If you can get, for instance, if you've got a woods in the middle of the board and you've advanced and you're using woods to hold, some of your other abilities here, we're going to see take advantage of terrain as well, and plus Sons of Dana. So if you're basically using this woods to kind of hold your flank and you kind of bait with a unit, and then you have this sitting out here as but it's going to cost you extra to come up and get me, or you can't shoot me, you're coming up. A lot of people will hold their flank with crossbows or bowmen, and then you're using this as I'm going to advance on your flank, but you can't shoot me because this is up. So it goes both ways.
Okay. Yeah, this is probably one I have to play a few games to get a good handle on it, but I don't know, it's using two dice to basically force kind of a double activation, so they kind of have to use like one extra dice. I don't know, it doesn't seem like a super great trade-off, but okay, you probably have you used this one in the last few games or no?
I have used it some, and I've played a bunch of Irish at Grand Melee, and some of my opponents were using it, and it made me think about how I was going to advance. I was playing North Scale, so I was thinking about how, I want combat, but thinking about, how do I need to advance? Where do I need to be positioned? Can I get there? And then I'm going to have to double move, that sort of stuff, So,
okay. Just throwing another little monkey wrench into the works there.
Especially if you play an Irish warband where you do big units of javelin dudes, warriors and stuff, and you make like a battle line, because then at least, because this is orders reaction, well, you're only designating one unit, so you're still picking and choosing. It's kind of expensive, I think, bottom line.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking at first glance, but could be handy against those cavalry or long range shooting armies for sure. Okay, moving down to the Fir Bholg. Fir Bholg. It is a shooting ability using an uncommon die by the looks of it. For each attack die that scores a 6 or more, the target unit will lose 1 defense dice during step 4 of the shooting. That's pretty juicy little tidbit there. So those shooting defense dice will be on a 4+, so you're basically 50-50 chance of doing an extra wound there. And then I see the key word there is a 6 or more. So if you get a +1 from your other ability there. So if you use the +1 to hit from Sons of Dana, for example, so that would work on a 5, basically. 5 + 1 is a 6.
Yep. You roll 5 or greater, 5 or 6, and then this triggers off. And no save. No save. Well, you don't get that die for a save. So if you have combat pool dice, you still can use those. But if you don't, you get no save. Yes. You are dead.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, for an uncommon, I don't think, if you couldn't combo this with anything else, I don't think I would like it that much. I mean, if you roll 6 dice, maybe you'll get 1. But even then, there's a 50-50 chance you just blew it. But I'm liking with that +1, or if there's more ways to get +1.
Maybe we'll see one more way.
Some pretty juicy stuff there. Yeah, I'm liking that. Yeah, the problem with shooting is always the defense dice. No matter what you can do, it's not that hard to hit them. You're always going to get a couple through, but those damn defense dice on 4+, it's so easy to just make them all.
3+ if they're in the woods.
Oh, yeah. True. Yeah, that's especially handy if you're going to get against some guys in the woods to negate that 3 up as well. Okay. I'm liking that. There's some potential there. Do you want to do the next one?
Sure. Now, the big question is, should we talk about the rest of the shooting abilities and go sideways on the battle board, or should we go down?
Whoa, John. We have never deviated
This is the
Saga
time.
Thursday battle board review in the history of battle board reviews. But if you think it would be a good idea, then I'm with you.
I think it'd be a great idea. I think for continuity for our listeners, they'll understand the breadth and scope of the Irish shooting if we deviate Saga Thursday and go sideways.
Okay. I don't know, John.
So let's go sideways. Let's go over to Eagle Eye.
I've got a tried and true formula here, and I'm a little nervous, but I'm willing to go with you on this one.
All right, trust me, Joe. Trust me.
Okay.
All right.
We're talking Eagle Eye.
Yeah. So this one here is a uncommon or a rare, and it's a shooting ability, and it says each attack die that scores a result higher than 3 will get a +1 to the die result. If you discarded an elk, a stag, all attack dice other than 1s benefit from this bonus. So, how about that? Another way to get a +1 on your shooting, and it's not this time the children in the woods shooting you. It's your warband shooting you.
Your actual guys with the pointy sticks lobbing them up. Okay, cool. Yeah, say +1 to hit, unless you roll a 1 or a 2. But if you roll a rare, then you can make the 2 a 3 as well.
Yeah.
So
that seems like it's only effective if your target is going to be Levy.
If you need a 3+, yeah, mounted warriors, or if you need a 3, pop the rare. If not, you're going to be doing fine with the quail. So that's cool. It's kind of worded weird, but basically it's just a +1, +1 to your roll. Okay, cool.
Basically.
So you could combo that with Sons of Dana for a +2. Is that right? Or is it?
That's a fantastic question. I suppose you could. I've never actually seen that done because typically Sons of Dana gets comboed with Fir Bholg and Banshee Whispers. But I guess I don't know if you couldn't.
Okay.
Well, it says +1.
Yeah, if you can use the Fir Bholg, which is a shooting ability, then you can use Eagle Eye, which is a shooting ability, I'm assuming. So,
yeah.
If you really wanted to go all in for that devastating volley.
Yeah, you're going all in on that one.
Okay. That is pretty cool. I'm liking that because Sons of Dana as well. For the anytime you can get some shots on the Warlord, people don't really expect it because it just doesn't really happen. And going, they're a 6, so really it doesn't bother them. But if you can get that down to a 5, you really only need to sneak in a couple if they really deployed badly and weren't keeping the gang around. They certainly wouldn't do that ever again if you did get them. So, yeah, anytime you can do that, it's looking pretty good. So, okay, John, should we just go up then?
We should go up
the board.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
Up the board, Joe.
The Banshee Whispers. Oh boy, I'm a little nervous here. We're off the beaten path here, John. I think you might be luring me out here. So the Sons of Dana, I can.
Come the Irish
I'm
ways.
really close within short of that uneven ground here. Okay, the Banshee Whispers is another uncommon. Okay, for each attack die that scores a 6 or more, the target will suffer 2 hits instead of 1 for your shooting activation. So that is pretty good. I can see how, if you combined all these, you would have a pretty wicked attack plan here. And the worst part would be you wouldn't have the defense dice, so like you wouldn't feel like you had any chance to stop anything at all. Like it's just like hammering you with no saves, basically. So do you like to do these all together, or do you kind of one at a time?
If you got the uncommons, it's time to do them all together.
Okay.
So, now, to be specific, when you do combo Banshee Whispers with Fir Bholg, so when say you roll the 5, so with Banshee Whispers, you get 2 hits from it. But Fir Bholg doesn't mean then that both hits get no saves. One hit gets no save. The second hit does get a save.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's not. If it was the other way around, it would be kind of retarded.
Okay, so let's do a theoretical shooting volley here. Sons of Dana, you pop the rare for a +1 to hit. You're going against that big unit, so you're going to roll 6 dice.
Yep.
And you're going to get a +1s, so you're going to hit dudes on 4s or 5, whatever.
12 guys, so probably warriors.
Yeah, we'll say warriors.
Yeah.
So that big
So hit 'em
Hearthguard
on
unit,
3s.
people like those things. So you hit them on 3s if they're warriors, and then basically every 5+ you get is going to be 2 hits, and then they're going to get 1 less defense time against it. So you got some guaranteed. You might have very well more hits than you're going to have than your opponent has defense dice.
Possibly, yes.
If you get those more 5+s. Yeah, that is some pretty good shooting there. Of all the shooting warbands that I've looked at so far, like that seems like the deadliest abilities that I've seen. The other ones, they just seem to add more dice. With the Bretons, they had some rerolls there, but anytime you get extra hits without having to roll dice, I suppose you still have to get that 5+, but if you get it, you just go from 1 to 2. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So yeah, more hits is always good. Less defense dice, always good. So I could see some pretty good shooting phases here.
Yeah.
It's interesting, going back to the Hearthguard and even the Warlord, the choice between the javelins and the Dane axes. There's basically 3 solid shooting abilities here that you could benefit from if you did go javelins. But okay, well should we resume our normal place on the board? It'd be the Sid ability. I don't know, John.
Can I make a suggestion?
Whoa, you're putting too much thought on this. I'm a little nervous.
I've been drinking whiskey. What can I say? Let's do this. Let's go up one more. Let's finish the top of the board.
Okay, I do.
This one up here, this is like a 1+ ability.
Okay.
You always do it. And then we'll go back down to the other melee bits.
Okay, I do like that. I do like clearing out that top part. And I was getting a little antsy just leaving it hanging if we went back down. So I like where you're going here. And thus ends part 1 of our Irish Battle Board review. Good stuff talked about so far. If you'd like to add to the conversation, any comments, post below, or you can hit me up on Twitter at WiscoHorndog. We'll chat some Saga up on the Twitter feeds, no problem. Like and favorite this shit. Thank you if you've done so already. As always, share this with a buddy. Spread that Saga word, my friends. And keep on hobby horn dogging. I'll catch you guys next time. Saga!